Technology. So I was talking about how there must be something deeper than laws about our practices or our beliefs that will bring unity and peace to humanity. And that deeper reality is love. And I've been pondering all these matters with a great Christian philosopher named James Smith, who says that the modern person, our heads are being filled with information constantly, but our hearts are being insufficiently formed in love. He rightly says that the human person is much more than thinking minds, and that's what the Enlightenment has been telling us for centuries now, ever since René Descartes, the great philosopher, and his axiom of I think, therefore I am. We've thought of human beings as being essentially thinking creatures. But we've actually learned that much deeper than our minds and our thoughts are our bodies, which go back millions and millions of years. And these bodies are a gift from God, and the physical needs and wants of our bodies are also gifts, and they are gifts which are to find satisfaction and fulfillment rather than being suppressed. And when they find right satisfaction and fulfillment by being aimed at the love of God, then we are living and moving and having our being in God, as the Apostle Paul said. We all, in fact, are already living and moving and having our being in God. But when we aim everything at love, then we realize this and find the joy and peace God wants for us. Eons older than the human body even is the human soul, which goes back to creation. It goes back to the very source, the very beginning, the love from which we were made and the love for which we are made. And here in love is where all of our needs and wants, be they physical or mental, find fulfillment and satisfaction. Smith rightly says that it is time for us to have a revolution in our understanding of education. He talks about how we're always being educated, and by that he means formed. We are being formed and educated either by the kingdom of heaven and holy ways, or we are being educated and formed by this fallen world. And he talks about it constantly happening. He calls these patterns of living either from heaven or from the profane and fallen world. He calls them liturgies, and the question becomes, what liturgies are we going to be trained by? I was taken back to a conversation with an old friend of mine when our children were little, and I shared with him that it was a fearful thing that we were constantly educating our children. And he looked at me a little bit puzzled, and he was clearly taken aback. And I think that's because he was somebody who, worked in the city 70 hours a week in upper management, and he was pretty much leaving the education of his children to his wife and to the public schools. That was true, but I think it was starting to settle into him that his absence was also forming his children. What he was teaching them in the evenings was important, but he was also forming them in what it means to be a dad and what it means to be a husband. And so these are the things that run much deeper than the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, which our public education gives us. We have to be very conscientious of how we're, by both our presence and our absence, constantly training our children. I need to pause there once again so that I can upload this and make sure that I have enough storage on my phone. See you in another few minutes, and thanks for your patience.